All right, our dear viewers, we have returned to grace you all with our presence once again.
Yeah, I'm happy that we're back, but I am kind of mad at you.
What I do this time?
Well, you see, since we were on our break, I was surfing on top of a cab in New York in Times Square trying to get a new PS5 from Sanat for the giveaway. And then I see on the Times Square video that you're swimming and you told me you can't swim. And it's like in Alabama. And you didn't tell me that there was a reunion of the Black Power Rangers going on there.
Okay, listen. I see what had happened was I'd gotten this invitation like last minute, okay, and it was given to me by the Jason David Frank estate, and RIP to the GOAT, and they wanted a representative, so they sent me. I don't know why they sent me. I just accepted, okay. I was given like a 2 days notice.
Yeah, like you went full Jermichael Phelps. I guess you saw the signal of the hat flying in the air.
Yep. It was something that I didn't realize needed to happen, so I had to call the Black Avengers, call the Black Rangers. It was time to enact what I like to call the charity event of a lifetime. You know what I'm saying? It was the fades given of a lifetime. It was the Montgomery sweet tea party. I just it had to be done. It had to be done.
For legal reasons, neither of us were there in either location during these events.
Did um as as the legal guy on here, I fully and totally was not was there.
All right, so that's so crazy, man. How are we on break when those two events happen? We would have spent the first 30 minutes on them brawl.
Listen, just off the first event alone would have been enough for me to just go like, yep, all right. So just FYI, y'all, I actually had to go, and this is full transparency, everybody. For what goes on behind the scenes into our daily lives is the fact that I ended up going to our nearest Home Depot. What did I do at Home Depot? I had to procure myself some protection items, some items, and by items I mean item, but multiple of them. No,
Mhm.
just in case something happened.
Did you get the scope addition to it?
I not only did I get the scope addition to it, I actually managed to build a switch on it.
Ooh, nice.
So just at a switch's notice,
Nice.
AIDS given.
Yeah, I can't wait till we get the sawed off folding chair.
Ooh, that'll be enough. That's enough. Yeet.
All right, let's hit us with the legal spiegel.
So the purpose of this podcast is to explore digital and print media. All sources we reference are owned by the respective companies, and our thoughts and opinions are strictly our own and reflect no biases and corporate agendas. Many different things that are happening in today's time that we may or may not refer to are 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 stated with a bunch of parody. So as such, your discretion is strongly advised, and we cannot endorse nor unendorse anything that may or may not have been said. Your discretion's advised.
Nice, nice. So, anything else that you've been up to?
Let's see what else I've been up to. As since it's about to be, gaming season, if you will, I've been doing a lot. At the time of this recording, the MK1 beta dropped.
Oh God.
And I had to prep myself. I had to go out here grind. You know what I'm saying? Grind to the top of the tower, grind to the top of the leadership board. You know which character I'm playing as initially. Well, well, you know who I would have been playing initially, but
Yes,
he's
yes.
not available, so not available for the beta. So I had to go with the number 2 option.
Mm.
Let's just say that hell freezes over that day. But but in any case, just gaming a lot. Been watching too much anime these days, and we're gonna get into it in the what's hot. But a certain thing then happened, and a certain show's dropped that woo boy, I can't say too much on because I'll be getting to spoilers.
That's fair.
But yeah, just been chilling.
Nice. Yeah,
Not
for
killing.
me.
What have you been
Yeah,
up to?
I've been playing Bloodborne, like we talked about. I got past Father Gastiglione, so he was hard, man. He cheated. That was cheated because I hit him with the box, and then they wouldn't let me attack him, and then like he transformed when he had like 10% health and killed me in like 2 shots. So doing that, so I'm hoping to kind of catch up. Writing my medieval story, so I'm like 75 pages deep with that. I'm gonna do that till September, then come back with my sequel book for edits, and then I'm in the midst of a juice cleanse right now, so I'll probably be dead by tomorrow.
Well, this is maybe his last time on the podcast, y'all. I'm sorry to say that this is going to be a fades given of a lifetime.
Yeah, so with that, now we can get into what's hot. We've been gone for 2 weeks. Our last official episode was the DreamCon episode. If you're a consistent listener, last week we redropped our Gara episode, which was one of our first ever recordings to do a character study, kind of give you an idea in this universe of what a character study is and then how it relates to Naruto. So with that, also something to bring up, Ahsoka will drop today that this episode comes out. We will be doing weekly episode recaps of that. We know who's jumping on the podcast, so get ready.
Well, and actually, I do want to mention that they actually just announced on the day that we're recording this that they're actually pushing up the date of Ahsoka.
Whoa, what day?
It's releasing that Tuesday, so the day prior.
Okay.
So the 22nd. So by the time you're hearing this, it had already dropped.
Yes, and we will be simping. So now let's get to what's hot other than Ahsoka.
Let's see what else to go over. But let's see. In terms of gaming, as I said, the MK1 beta has come and went by the time you're listening to this, and just say that that Bihan is a whole total menace. Johnny Cage is an absolute monster. And I can't wait to play more of Lee May. That's all I gotta say about the MK1 beta right now. Because it's really all about that. Everybody grinding. And then as far as other games, Spider-Man 2, we're slowly inching closer to the day that you'll never see me again. Next time you'll see me, it'll be on the news as the guy who's currently swinging in the air in top of New York City, or destroying it. I don't know which one I feel like that day. Another thing is that in terms of comic books, right? We currently have, of course, the Fall of X that's going down right now. There's actually currently a Ghost Rider and Wolverine crossover. So Kush got 2 members of the new Fantastic Four. I'm still waiting for Spider-Man and Hulk to drop in there to give us some true gory awesomeness. As I said, Death of the Venomverse is in full swing. The Summer Symbiotes may be coming to close, but it's ending off with pure carnage. I'm saying that both literally and figuratively. And then also, as part of the KLC press, I actually was able to read the first issue of their newest comic that just dropped called The Schlub. And to say it's hilarious is a complete understatement. And it's certainly a great ride. Ryan Stegman just does, well, he's currently the writer on it. He's not the artist. Ooh. So it's great times all around. Also, in terms of Spider-Man stuff, I don't like talking about the Spider-Man comics because it's a complete disgrace. But there is a shining ray of hope in there because my boy's back. Superior's back, baby.
Yes, sir.
He back, and the setup was crazy for it. So now I'm just waiting for that issue to drop, and then I'll be buying every single issue. Also, Miles Morales is staying goated. He's actually been getting upgrades in his powers. This man got a whole lightsaber now, and I'm just saying that if I get to have a lightsaber in Spider-Man 2 when I'm playing Miles Morales, just know it's wraps on who I'm going to be playing as. Like,
you're not coming outside, so
no, I am not. Touching grass, what is that? And then finally, of course, there is what's going on in anime.
Woo!
All right, let's go ahead and talk about it, right? We got ourselves Bleach.
Today is the day. Today is the day.
Good heavens.
And last week was the week.
Good heavens, you know it's time.
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
Listen, as the guy who read the manga, I can't tell y'all what's about to go down, but he knows.
Yes.
I know. Fades is being given on this day.
Yes.
But yeah, and then of course we also have ourselves Zom 100. He just started, so I can't say too much on it because I binged it. And to say that this show is pure nightmare fuel is an understatement. There's something that he has not seen yet that I just went, okay, if that were to actually happen, just kill me now. There's no redemption, there's no I'm gonna survive this, there's no main character energy at all. Just take me out. Just take me out right now. And as soon as he gets to it, he'll know. And he'll talk about it when he gets to it. And then also something that I forgot is that Blue Beetle has dropped. I haven't gone and seen it yet, so I'm just letting you guys know that right now. But then the big thing that dropped. The thing I actually managed to go to Otaku Academy and purchase a whole jersey for. Toon Force is here.
Ooh.
Big 5 then dropped. The drums of liberation are playing, and they're playing as my heart right now.
Dude, that was so beautiful in that last episode.
And to say that Luffy is out here being a whole demon nah, that don't cover it. Let's just say it's raps for Kaido, it's raps for all of the world government. Kainu, just know your time is coming, big fella. Just know that we spinning the block for Ace. Luffy is spinning the block for Ace. All right, you ain't making it, my boy. So yeah, Gear 5 it's out here. It didn't break the internet like the One Piece fans were expecting. It didn't completely break it. It didn't completely tear down all of human civilizations like Ultra Instinct did. But but just know that it's still a historic moment, and you guys should be proud. But just know where your standing is. Just don't be saying too much.
Oh, it definitely has a lot of eyes on it. Because I've been watching it. Just like the Gear 5 and stuff. So definitely at some point I'm gonna rewatch the whole series since I fell off around the 100s. But with that, let me just be really quick with it because it used to come on Toonami and that's how I watched it before the whole thing. So with that, Jujutsu Kaisen is on a temporary recap break, but I believe it drops the chaos arc that's about to happen in about 2 weeks that we are not ready for. Bungo Stray Dogs season 5 is going crazy. Mushoku Tensei season 2. We're going to have an honest conversation one day, Meech, about slavery and anime. That's all I'm going to say. We're going to have an honest conversation about that. But everything else, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem, I saw it. I really enjoyed it. And then so we can just move forward from there.
Oh, yeah. Now, one last thing is for all our sports fans out there, it's NFL season, boys. If y'all haven't started your fantasy drafts yet, just be on the lookout right now. Just make sure you have all your statistics ready. I already have a foolproof game plan. I already have about 100 different options. Let's just say that if Demetrius would look at the other side of the camera right now, he'll just see a sprawling just spreadsheet of just players' stats, who I'm gonna have where.
So your emperor eye. Your emperor eye is ready?
Yes, to ensure that the dub will be taken by me this year. So RIP to everybody whose fantasy league I'm joining because it's raps.
All right. So with that, listeners, we are doing a 2-part character study of Naruto. If you've didn't watch the intro, we're obviously going to put a time skip here just so you can get to it. But with that, what I really believe Naruto is one of the most important characters, anime characters of the last 20-25 years, in my opinion. Obviously, we have Ash and Pikachu you could put together, but we've discussed multiple times, to us when we were growing up, even though we knew it was from Japanese, we saw it as a cartoon. But with Naruto, that was kind of in the vein of the anime that you get made fun of. So like that kind of boost. So like with that, getting into this, can you talk about like how you had to like hide your fandom and in the trenches for the show? Because I feel like this was the first anime that you really had to be in the trenches for.
Yeah, so let me just talk about like my origins into getting into Naruto in the first place. So, of course, as I said, like when I was younger, I'd be watching different stuff on anime, and then I see the show called Naruto. And at first, like I was just completely disinterested in it whatsoever. Like it really was not like that for me at all. And then come around middle school. Middle school, I'm of course like I'm in class when I goofing off and being the not great student I was. And like one of my friends, like he was reading the manga. And I remember specifically which issue it was. It's actually like it was like the issue where, spoiler alert, Naruto fights Sasuke at the end. And I was just like, what's that? And he just went on to explain to me all about like Naruto and whatnot. So like, of course, I had to go back. And then kind of like catch my way up. So, and of course, like by that point, the anime had not reached that point.
Mm-hmm.
So like, of course, I got to like, I think it was right before the Sasuke retrieval arc,
Okay.
like because it was the English dub at the time. And of course, like I'd like read it and watch it. And the way I had to hide the fact that I did is because in certain groups, didn't talk about it. Didn't talk about it at all. Did I have the Naruto headband? Absolutely not. Did I run like Naruto? Absolutely not. Also, probably because of the fact that I was overweight at the time. So running was not in my vocabulary at the time either. And also because of the fact I played football too. So if I didn't have full form, it was raps. So yeah, so like at the end of the day, like I pretty much had to hide it. Like I only talked about like Naruto and whatnot with that specific friend and him alone.
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody else, I pretended Naruto didn't exist. So that was my origins and everything.
Yeah. So with me, I really loved it in like elementary school. And like I had a friend that he really loved Jiraiya, and like I can't say his name, but like you know how Jiraiya was Pervy Sage? Like it was like we called him Pervy and then like his first his last name with it. And it was so because he was a delinquent, let's just a deviant, if you will. So I'll put it like that.
Is he like Roshi timing or is he
Roshi? Yes, absolutely. So with that, but like once I got to middle school, fam, we was not talking about Naruto. Like it would literally be like something where it's like watching it every week on Toonami, like the English dub, like you mentioned. But it was just like, nope. Until I like found people, but like the people that enjoyed it, I weren't cool with. So it wasn't like I was talking to them with it. And then it was just like, even when I did meet people that I was cool with that liked it, I was like, oh yeah, man, I really didn't used to like Naruto, but then it got to this point and I really started to love it. But with that, yeah, it's such an important show for anime. I'm not gonna say it's the best of the big three, but just like it's one of the most important of the big three, just because of the length of One Piece makes it hard to get into, and then Bleach faded away for some time. So like for a lot of people, Naruto was like the mainstream anime to get into, and then once Attack on Titan dropped, that's when it was like, okay, everybody can get into anime, and then it blew up into Shippuden. So I think that's where it's really important. So for this episode, we're only going to talk about the base Naruto. Next week, we're going to talk about Shippuden and a little bit of Boruto because his character arc is really actually good in Boruto. With that, we would not be talking about the filler Meech. I see.
Okay, good.
Because when we get into Shippuden, we can talk about the weird ways in which we had to watch it.
Oh yes, those some filler was actually kind of fire. I'm not even gonna hold you. At least in Shippuden, some of the filler was fire.
Yeah.
Regular, on the other hand,
yeah, it was off.
But yeah, let's go ahead and let's talk about our favorite knucklehead ninja himself, Uzumaki Naruto.
The nine-tailed Cherokee.
Yeah, so of course the story starts with actually a recap of everything that's happened in the past. So essentially, oh yeah, the nine-tailed fox came in, ran roughshod on the entire Leaf Village, and then it gets sealed inside the body of this child, Naruto Uzumaki, who then he grew up into a little knucklehead as the entire village hated his guts.
Yes.
And as such, all he wanted to do was be accepted, be Hokage, and to do so, he wanted to get attention in all different types of ways. So he was a prankster, and of course, in this world, it's a ninja world. So if you want to be the best, you had to basically become a ninja. So for Naruto, he'd be painting over basically Mount Rushmore of the ninja of the Leaf Village. He gets yelled at by everybody. He gets things thrown at him. He basically, you just see how far in the trenches this man really was. And you see his living conditions, and it's just like, how?
He was down bad. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, how could you live that way on your own as like a 7-8-year-old kid? At least I think it was like, no, he was more like 12.
12-ish, yeah.
Like 12-ish at this point. My bad. But still, it's this still the same thing. And then, of course, the first episode shows like he's at the Ninja Academy. He failed the exam 3 times because he can't make a clone to save his life. Because all the clones come out deformed. Everybody's talking about how much of a failure he is, and just how his teacher, Aruka Sensei, he basically just given Naruto the hardest of times. And then, of course, Naruto, he said, you know what? Screw y'all.
Yes.
He pulled what basically I would have done on day 0, which is, well, actually, no, he didn't do exactly what, because I would have just straight up either nuked the village or
I know what you would have done. Yeah.
Yes, I would have went full pain, but that's spoilers. But yeah, so he essentially like said, you know what, I'm gonna go steal this scroll that's apparently giving me a high level ninjutsu. Of course, he was tricked into doing it by a rogue ninja named Mizuki. And essentially, like, while he's like in hiding, reading the scroll, Aruka is trying to go find him. The entire village is in turmoil because, like, oh snap, this kid stole this forbidden scroll. And I know we're not going to talk about him right now, but Hiruzen, third Hokage, I'm gonna need to run your pockets. But we're not going to get into him right now. So essentially, like, Naruto's over here in a conversation between Aruka and Mizuki, and how like, oh yeah, you ain't tell him that he was the nine-tailed fox that destroyed your village and killed your parents, huh? And of course that like broke Naruto's spirit. And then he overhears like, yeah, from Aruka's like, yeah, he basically had my family killed, but I don't care because he is strong, he's willed, he's determined, he reminds me of myself, and he gonna work hard, he gonna grind for true acceptance. And I admire that most about Naruto. And, and it's like, I'm going to take a shuriken to the back for this boy.
And not a baby shuriken either.
Nah, he took a human-sized shuriken to the back for him. And usually, like, at that point, Naruto locked in, and he used that forbidden jutsu, which is multi-shadow clones. And due to, like, of course, a rage amp, plus his will and determination, will of fire, he managed to create thousands of clones, which he used to jump Mizuki.
Yeah, I think what I really love about Naruto so much about this time when it came out is that this was one of the first anime characters where he was like a true loser / troublemaker. You know, he had the demon inside of him, and you can see like a lot of like characters later, Asta, who like are kind of descendants of, I love Black Clover, but Asta, if you watch Black Clover, you're like, yeah, this is just Naruto in a different form. But just like with that, it was really cool. And then also everybody hated him. He was very incompetent as a ninja, but like just like his will was so incredible in the show. And like I know like people later on will talk about like talk no jutsu, but just like early on, especially where we saw him giving us hope, and we were watching this as kids where it's like, yo, fight for your dreams. And then like seeing that was absolutely incredible. So with that, we can kind of get into the start of the Team 9 intro.
Yep. Actually, Team 7.
Team 7, yes.
But yeah, so not okay. So of course he managed to graduate because of the fact he knows multi-shadow clones. So he knew the better version of everybody else. And so he graduated and he essentially gets put into a team 7, if you will, consisting of his crush, Sakura, the absolute worst human on the planet, but we're not. But this ain't about her today. And then Naruto's husband Sasuke Uchiha, and
Yes.
you could tell like just off the jump that they hated each other. They didn't vibe at all.
I mean, they were each other's first kiss, so.
I was just about to get to that. Like they hated each other so much that they took the first kiss from each other. And
Full Dio style.
yep, it was me, Sasuke Uchiha. It was me, Naruto Uzumaki. And then, and of course, like their sensei is Kakashi, who's reported to be the harshest teacher and to be the one who loses his students the most. And then of course that's when you learn about like what their dreams, what their goals are. I mean, we kind of knew Naruto's his like, yeah, I want to be the Hokage, I want to be the greatest Hokage, I want to be accepted by everybody. And then we know like Sasuke's is I'm trying to put somebody in the dirt to avenge my clan's honor. And then Sakura is simpage.
Yes.
Her dream is simpage for Sasuke. So we get like this weird like love triangle dynamic where Naruto's into Sakura, Sakura's into Sasuke, and Sasuke's into Naruto. But and then Kakashi just has to deal with it. So they have like this major test where the bell test, if you will, where the team has to try to steal the bells from Kakashi, and Naruto charges in head first, only to get 1,000 years of death. Let's just say that this was probably the most humiliating moment, and I would not have, and me personally, a chair would have had to come out that day.
Honestly, I think what we'll talk about later was more embarrassing at the tuning exams.
Nah, but that's because he did it.
That's fair. That's fair.
Nah, I'm talking about what happens to this man.
Yeah.
This, I'm like, no. So of course, like Naruto ends up failing, but the other two pass, and then they like give him food because Naruto was not allowed to eat. But they gave him food to, show true camaraderie, which means that they all truly passed the test, and now they get sent on missions, to which they then get the Zabuza arc.
Oh man, this is like when it really, really picks up. So with that, we still see Naruto. He's mostly all talk, and they have to defend. It's like a carpenter essentially.
Yeah.
And so like they're defending him, and they get ran up on, and Naruto freezes. And like this is his first like true combat, like life or death test. And he freezes up, he gets poisoned, and then Sasuke has to save him. And then Sasuke talks mad trash to him. And we see like this was so cool, like seeing it for the first time, where he takes the kunai, stabs himself in the hand to like kind of bleed out the poison essentially, and he's like, this is my vow that I'm going to be better. This is like my the start of my ninja way for that. So like seeing him turn up, and then the Zabuza, and we kind of see just like their dynamic with Sasuke, where they have the human shuriken, which is literally something they go back to so many times, but it's so dope.
Yeah, I like to call it, this was like the first moment where it's like, the head nod where you look at me, I look at you, we do the head nod, and we know, and we locked in. What we have to do. This is basically the Isagi Bachira moment, the first moment that they have, and they essentially were able to sneak Zabuza and of course force him to retreat. And then Naruto ends up meeting probably the biggest trap in all of anime history in the form of Haku. Let's just say this was also probably up there in probably the most embarrassing moments, because Naruto was kind of feeling on him, and then realized that was a guy. I was like,
to this day, I still be flipping, even though I know I'm like, is that your girl or not?
As soon as I found out, like, nah, I'm writing you off. You are deleted from my memories. I cannot let that happen.
I'm like, what's going on between us?
Yeah, just don't worry about that. So essentially moving forward, they do like have another encounter where essentially like they all get separated. Kakashi's fighting Zabuza, and then Naruto and Sasuke is fighting the right-hand man of Zabuza, aka Haku. And then Sakura is being Sakura and trying to protect the old man, which just no. But in that, you see that Haku is clearly superior to both of them, because of that Haku like had to kill people.
Yes.
He knows like true killing intent, and like he he's just a soldier. Like he know what he got to do, so he gonna do it. And in this fight, unfortunately, Sasuke Uchiha had to protect Naruto and ends up getting the first clapping of his life.
Mm-hmm.
And that
Or second, maybe.
I said the first trigger, but this is where something happens in Naruto. Naruto sees the love of his life get taken out, and as such, the demon is unleashed.
Yes. Oh my gosh. The first reveal of the true Nine Tails powers and just the rage that Naruto has, like everybody on the bridge is getting shook. Like, what is going on here? And just like destroyed all of the crystal ice mirrors from Haku, absolutely dogged him and just like beat him up. And like all for Sasuke, which kind of shows just like their dynamic where eventually over time they kind of talk about like how Sasuke like and Naruto like are have similar upbringings and like he really relates to him and like he views him as his rival but also his equal, so someone that he wants his approval from. So with that they kind of bust out, fight continues, and I mean this arc is very beautiful, and then Haku joins the donut squad as well. So
Yeah, the first donutting by Kakashi that we see in the series.
yes.
His first road, but yeah, and then this is also where we get to see Naruto's most powerful technique, and it's known as the Talk no Jutsu, where essentially like Zabuza's down, Haku in the dirt, and now all of like Zabuza's like employers are coming in trying to kill all of them, and Naruto just talking heavy to Zabuza, like,
Right.
bro, he died for you. He is like he a ride or die. Like, why are you really not about that? And
Yeah.
then you just see like Zabuza tearing up. It's like, stop it. Your words cut harder than any kunai. And then Zabuza turns up a new leaf. He kills all of the men, then gets offed himself. And this is where Naruto pretty much learns about death for the first true time. So, and from there, it's like, yeah, at this point, it now becomes more of a, all right, we've now experienced like what true ninja life is like. Let's go and get better. Let's go and let's train up everybody and let's become superior, right? And this is where you see like the rivalry of Naruto and Sasuke continuing. Like they're trying to like use their chakra to run up a tree, and both of them are failing for different reasons. Whether it's Sasuke not using enough chakra to get up there, or Naruto using too much chakra to end up destroying everything, which is kind of like a major point about his character is that like he has so much power, but he doesn't know how to wield it yet. Yes. And that's something that's going to be reiterated over the course of the whole series, and that's why like you gonna see him like square up and pop off against enemies he really shouldn't be be popping off against. And we get into, and of course they get their training done, and we hit up tuning.
Yeah, so probably the most popular initial arc from the original Naruto series, just because so many fights, so many great moments, even though I love the Sasuke retrieval arc, which we'll get to. But with that tuning exam, was the first part the forest test, or was it the test in class?
In class.
Okay, so we get to that one, and since Naruto is an idiot, he's struggling, but like they get forced with the test where it's like, I believe if the question posed was if you quit, then your teammates will pass or something like that, essentially, right?
Yeah, it was something like that because of the fact that like, hey, like the point of the test is to either see if you can cheat your way to success, or if you are like willing to like stick it through the end.
Yes, and with Naruto, like he's about to, because obviously he's done. And then even Hinata, which we will talk about at some point. I don't know if we need to talk about it this time or next week, but we will talk about baby girl Hinata, my first crush, anime crush.
This is the beginning of her story and her introduction, so we need to talk about wifey.
So with that, she helps him out, but he doesn't want to do it like that, because if you get caught cheating, then both of you get eliminated and your squad get eliminated. But he goes off. He's like, yo, I'm not about quitting and stuff like that, because like a lot of people are leaving the room and stuff like that, getting their teammates disqualified. But like he goes into his speech again, like that leadership quality. And like, he's like, everyone starts to kind of stay like that. And then the proctor is like, dang it, he really forced all those kids to stay, because last year, the question, your response was supposed to be different. So you just kind of switch it up. It's one of those things where it's just to mess with you. And man, just the sheer force of personality that we get into. So then I think we can get into the forest arc of it all.
Yeah, but in between then, that's where like we get introduced to the rest of the group, and
Yep.
then Naruto ends up meeting Rock Lee, who embarrasses both him and Sasuke.
Yes.
And this is where Sasuke's that's number 2 in a humbling experience for Sasuke, and then number 80 billion for Naruto. So yeah, then we get into the Forest of Death where they're trying to get like 2 scrolls. And unfortunately for Team 7, they run into probably the biggest op and biggest EDP of all time.
Wait, Hisoka might be number 1.
They neck and neck at this point. I don't care. I don't care. We get EDP Orochimaru.
Yes.
And Orochimaru, of course, being one of the 3 great Sannin, he's like one of the strongest ninjas and one of the most legendary. And he out here giving Team 7 the absolute work. Why? In order to test Sasuke, because Sasuke's the last Uchiha. And like Orochimaru is primarily giving Sasuke the beats. And then Naruto is the one who's coming in to try to save Sasuke because Sasuke's like too terrified of this man and is still intent. To which Naruto had to like unleash some Nine Tails out of him. The Nine Tails out of him in order to stand a chance against Orochimaru. Then Orochimaru's like, okay, Nine Tails Brad, I see you. You got more heart than this Sasuke kid. All right, square up. And then immediately gets folded. And pretty much has the seal that's sealing the Nine Tails tampered with. So like Naruto's chakra control is basically out of whack at this point. So essentially Naruto gets nerfed for basically the rest of the arc.
That's true.
And as such, Naruto's knocked out for like the rest of the Forest of Death. And then Sasuke, of course, turns up. But we're not talking about Sasuke right now.
No, we are not. So I guess we can get into the battles, right?
Yeah, okay, they all make it. So now it gets to the tournament style fights. And Naruto has to go up against Kiba, who's talking real heavy to Naruto because he's like, you a failure. You ain't really about that life. And the fact you got that Nine Tails demon inside of you. So get wrecked, scrub. Yes. And of course, Naruto again is nerfed throughout this fight. So he's like, bruh, I can barely make like a few shadow clones. Bruh, I'm getting wrecked. And then we get, as you probably alluded to, the most embarrassing moment for Kiba, because Naruto's the one that does it. So Kiba trying to sneak Naruto, trying to attack him, but Naruto ends up releasing all of the ramen and all of his bad food habits into a burst of fart gas that Kiba gets immediately KO'd by because he has the nose of a canine.
Yes.
So it's extra pungent. It's extra rotten. As a matter of fact, I want to know, like, what would it smell like? Does it smell like rotten eggs? Does it smell like a sewer?
Foul.
Either way, it was wraps from Kiba, and he out of there.
And then he hit him with one of my favorite techniques to use, the Uzumaki barrage. Oh my gosh.
Yep, the Uzumaki Naruto barrage. That's where it made its debut.
And it's like kind of like a play off of the Lion's Barrage, and then also what Lee was doing as well.
Yeah, Lee's a Lotus.
Yes, which was absolutely incredible. So with that, he wins, and then I guess we can kind of talk about Hinata now, because like something else is with her fight with Neji, where Hinata, we see several times that like he kind of essentially saved her when she was younger. She was always shy, nervous and stuff like that, needed to be protected. And Naruto was the one to stand up for her. So she's always been watching him in the shadows and stuff like that. And she There's this meme where it's like she's giving him like the ointment, and it shows Kiba on the
On the
stretcher.
stretchers, like, bruh.
That's her teammate.
Yup. Basically, it was her love interest versus her teammate, and she chose
She chose right.
Yeah, she chose correctly. She chose Endo each time. And as such, like Naruto is like, hey Hinata, you know what? Go beat up your cousin. You got it. You know, he gassing her up, you know, giving her sense boost that she rightfully needed. Of course, it did not work out well for her because Neji is a complete monster and also beats the life out of her to where every single Joni had to stop before. And it's like, whoa, hold on there, Wally.
Yo, he was about to end his cousin's life, who he was supposed to protect. But like you could see like Naruto's influence on her because even when she knew she was beaten, she kept getting up. And then she was like, this is my ninja way. Directly for Naruto to hear it. And then Naruto was like, yeah, like that actually moved him. And then he like called out Neji, which when we get to it later. So yeah. Anything else with the tuning exam? I know like obviously the early Gaara interactions and stuff like that are there as well. So
yeah, so just pretty much like, hey, he meets Gaara and like he knows like the killing intent from him and he's terrified of him. And then also this is where he meets his godfather.
mm-hmm. After his sensei betrayed him.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about Kakashi's decision and favoritism, but he meets his godfather. He meets a real one. He meets the goat. He meets the real pervy man who's only outbeaten in perviness by Muten Roshi, Jiraiya, the Toad Sage.
Yeah, and that's because he was initially getting help from the other pervert dude that he would always use the sexy jutsu. Yes. He so like he was supposed to help him, and like they obviously hated each other with that. And then he actually was the first one, like you mentioned, that taught Naruto about kind of like the output of his chakra, where it's like you're using so much that it's like inefficient to use it. So like once you get done, you're automatically tired, or you just like fail to use it. So with that, did Kakashi adjust his seal, or was it Jiraiya?
No, it was Jiraiya.
Okay.
Notice like during the training, like, hold on, how is it that like you have so much chakra, but you're not able to like run on water like Jesus? But so he's like, wait, hold on. What's this? Is like, yeah, so this Orochimaru guy kind of ran my fade. And he's like, Orochimaru? Nope. Unseal. He's like, oh nah, we need to get you prepared because Orochimaru is he about that, and we need you at full capacity, my boy. So
yeah.
So he basically undoes the seal that Orochimaru puts on him.
Yeah, so I really love their initial interactions with that, and just like how Naruto had to help Jiraiya. And the crazy part is like Jiraiya knew who he was the entire time, and just like he still didn't want to like initially be with him, but like the initial help before we get into the post tuning exam help where he was with that. So he kind of taught him how to essentially control the Nine Tails chakra without going crazy initially, which kind of leads into the fact that he got 1v1 against Neji for the next part of the tuning exam, which that was so exciting.
Oh yeah, that was a great fight. Also we also skipped over the fact that Naruto was taught the summoning jutsu as well, which is gonna come into
was that here? Where you learned it?
It was right before the Neji fight.
You're right. Yes.
And that's gonna come into play much later.
Yes.
And he also manages to summon the strongest Toad.
Yes.
Toad Gamabunta, so it's like
Chief Toad,
a real one. But yeah, so like getting into like the Naruto Neji fight it's not only just like a physical brawl, it's a brawl of ideals. So essentially like Neji's ideal is, hey, you can't escape your fate, you can't escape your destiny. What you are in life, like, is given to you at birth, and you just gotta live with it. And then Naruto's like, bull. Yes. This is my ninja way. I was at the bottom, but I'm clawing my way to the top no matter what. And like Neji, like he uses his 8 trigrams to block off all of Naruto's chakras. Like, oh yeah, you ain't got no chakra? What was that about clawing your way to the top? What was that about beating me? What was that about spinning the block for Hinata, huh? What was all that cheap talk for? It's like, Oh yeah, you want to know cheap talk? All right, fine. Nine tails mode.
Yes.
Boom. And everybody in the entire arena was shooketh because they're
Yes.
like, hold on, did this kid just summon the nine tails power out of himself? It's like, yes, he did, and Neji is dead.
But I really love the fight, like you said, with the idealist, because he's like, screw fate, you can make your own. Because obviously Neji was born into like the sub family with that. And then Naruto was like, yo, Bay is in the stands, I gotta take you out. But it also showed his ingenuity because like when they had that one clash where it's like boom, head on, it shows him getting knocked out, and then he hit the uppercut of justice up out the ground on this man. And like he changed Neji, which was absolutely incredible. Just like again, the force of personality. Like people talk about talk new jutsu. I think in Shippuden it gets kind of out of control, but in the earlier stages we don't see this a lot. I mean, even though yes, Goku like he would beat people and a lot of them would team up later, but it wasn't necessarily yo, I'll talk you out of being a villain, but it takes you into that perspective. So next week when we talk about pain, we'll kind of get more into it. But that perspective of like really just like connecting with humans and like we're in this society where it's like we have to fight with that. So going from there, we get into the Gaara fight.
Yep. So moving along like plot threads, of course, Orochimaru attacking, Hiruzen's dead, and third Hokage dead. We having a party. Let's celebrate for the worst Hokage dying, and then we get ourselves into, as I said, like Sasuke fought Gaara, and Gaara going nuts. He releasing the one tail Shukaku on everybody. So Naruto has to step in. Like Naruto had to basically he got a friendship boost because Sasuke's down for the count. Sakura was basically in the line of fire because of course she was chasing Sasuke against a tailed beast. I'm just saying.
Right.
And then Naruto just comes in like, all right, here's that mental amp boost. Boom, summons out all the shadow clones like he did against in the first episode.
Yes.
Running Gaara's pockets. Gaara summons Shukaku. And then we get ourselves the first kaiju fight of the series, which is Gamabunta versus Shukaku.
That was such a good fight.
It goes dummy. Best part was when like Naruto uses the nine-tailed chakra to transform himself and Gamabunta into the nine-tailed fox.
Yes.
At that point, I lost my mind because I was like, he released the night. This is how it's done.
Because they did it in a two-part thing with anime. Because like it was like one episode, he's like, "Yo, we got to get close to him. We got to take out Gaara. I need something with claws that can hold on to him." And then he was like, "Oh, what am I thinking?" And then it went boom, nine tails. And then it waited to the next episode to actually like show that fight. Oh my gosh, that was crazy.
He was like, "Hey, yo!" And so yeah, Shukaku basically gets taken out because Naruto headbutts Gaara and headbutts him awake, and then it guts to Talk No Jutsu round 3, where essentially with no limbs left to fight with, Naruto decides to fight with his mouth. And he's basically talking like, hey, Gaara, listen, I get you, bro. Listen, I was hated by, listen, I've been where you at, bro. I still am where you at.
Yes.
The village still hates my guts. But at least I got a few people who are my ride or die. Mm-hmm. And if you want, I can be your ride or die too. And of course, Gaara is like, okay.
But yeah, but he had Gaara shook because like you said, with no limbs, he was still like crawling his way toward Gaara. And Gaara was terrified for the first time just like seeing that. But we obviously talked about Gaara in our original episode, so we kind of don't have to cover them too much. But just like with that, he again caused another change in a person due to that. So moving forward, we get into the third Hokage is dead. We all celebrate. So now we need to find a fifth Hokage. We get into Lady Tsunade along with the Rasengan.
Yeah, but so like of course like Naruto, he's training with best dad Jiraiya, like learning the Rasengan, learning the technique of the fourth Hokage, and at the same time he's also like trying to get. Well, Jiraiya's idea was to get Tsunade because she's probably the best candidate because he don't want to be Hokage.
Nope.
And at the whew. And of course, like she's like saying like, nah, I don't want to do that, right? Like I don't want to be Hokage. She's a drunkard. It's like, oh yeah, you want to be Hokage? Nah, nah, you ain't gonna be one. In fact, I bet you can't even finish the Rasengan. And I was like, okay, bet. But then in the middle of all of this, like in the middle of like, okay, Tsunade basically rejecting the offer to be Hokage, and then what happens next? The Akatsuki come in.
That is, yes, within the midst of this arc. Oh Lord.
Oh nah. So of course, like Itachi, Kisame pull up, put Kakashi in a bed, pretty much embarrasses everybody except Might Guy. In fact, Might Guy is the reason they had to retreat because Might Guy is him, but we're not talking about him today.
Yes.
So, and then it cuts like Naruto in his room, like chilling, and like practicing, and then he receives a knock on the door.
Oh my gosh, the pull up.
Like he opens the door and then he just sees Itachi just standing there. He's like, "What's up, bro?"
Immediate genjutsu.
No, he's not even that. He's like, "What's up, bro? I'm gonna need you to step outside with me real quick."
Come on.
Yeah, just come with me real quick. And then Naruto's like, "Hold on, those are Sharingan."
Uh-oh.
Oh no! tries to use his abilities, and then Kisame's like, nah, calm down there, Chief. I can steal your chakra, boy, so don't even think about it. And then, of course, Sasuke tries to pull up.
Lord have mercy.
Gets humiliated. So humbling experience for Sasuke went from 3 to about 7 in that one encounter.
Yeah.
And then Jiraiya had to pull up to save Naruto. And then, of course, the 2 Akatsuki members, they retreated. And then Sasuke's basically in a bed for the rest of the arc because he just got Genjutsu to oblivion. Kakashi got Genjutsu to oblivion. So now they really like, okay, we really need Tsunade now.
Yes.
And then at the same time, they wanted to get Tsunade. Orochimaru wants to come in and get Tsunade because he wants his arm healed. And he's like, wow. So moving on, they all get into like a massive 3-way signing brawl.
Ooh.
Again, Kaiju fight number 2. Still heating always. And then Naruto's out here trying to fight Kabuto. And he's getting humbled. He's getting humiliated until like Tsunade comes in and she's like protecting Naruto. And he's like, listen. Oh, no, wait. It's the other way around. Kabuto's humiliating Tsunade because of the fact she can't stand blood. And then Naruto's the one's coming in saving her. He's basically bleeding himself. He's like, nah, listen. He gets his hand stabbed with a kunai.
Yeah.
Creates a shadow clone. And then you see it happen. He completes and destroys Kabuto's guts with a Rasengan.
Sent Kabuto to God.
Sent Kabuto to meet God, but he still lived.
Yes.
And
so
Tsunade saves Naruto's life as well as everybody else and chooses to become Hokage.
And with that, like Naruto, throughout that whole like arc with Tsunade, he was saying, I want to be Hokage. But it was also was it younger brother or older brother?
It was younger brother.
So it's her younger brother and then also her lover that both wanted to like be Hokage, but like in the Third Great Ninja War, they both died. So she was like, I don't really mess with people's dreams like that. So like you could say it, but it doesn't mean anything to me. I've heard it before. And to see Naruto kind of just like stand on his word like that was like very moving to her. So like that kind of helped her become the Hokage. I forget, what was it? He called her Grandma Tsunade or Grandma?
Yeah, he called her Grandma Tsunade because of the fact like she's as old as Jiraiya, potentially older, but uses the jutsu to maintain her youth.
So with that, a little bit of filler happens, and then we get into the beginning of the Sasuke retrieval arc. So Sasuke is feeling tight when he's in the hospital because he's thinking about all the things that Naruto has done, and just like how he's like getting stronger and stronger. So Simpera, she's like trying to feed him apples. He slaps it out of her, and it's like, Naruto, step outside. We gotta run the ones.
Like Sasuke, and no, it's like Naruto, step outside with me, bro. We keep that conversation, like repeat what, like whoa, hold on. Like nah, we gotta fight, we gotta run them.
Dude, that was hype.
Run them, they did.
Yeah, I mean that was just an absolutely incredible fight, and something that ties into like the rest of the series. And the final fight is that Naruto is like, "Put on your headband," and then Sasuke is like, "No, you're not gonna put a single like scratch on my forehead." And Naruto's like, "No, we wear it because we're equals, and that like symbolizes that." And then just like Sasuke is like, "Yo, you are not my equal, fam." And then they like start fighting, and you just like see the creativity, and then they get to that cool scene where Naruto is coming with the Rasengan and Sasuke is coming with the Chidori, and then Sakura is getting in the way of it.
It's like oh, Sakura, why you being useless? Like, listen, I'm gonna need you to chill out because both of them they realize, hold on, at our trajectory and the fact that Sakura's coming in, we about to kill this girl.
Yeah,
Let's keep going faster. but but nah, Kakashi comes in and basically blocks both their attacks, and then Sasuke ends up realizing that he was right. Naruto's not his equal.
mm-hmm.
He's his superior.
Yes,
And such, Sasuke's tight. He wants to go and like he leaves the village. Naruto, he's just like oblivious to his all. Oh, oh, the one biggest thing that actually happened in this arc was that like
mm-hmm.
when Sasuke woke up and Sakura like full rush past Naruto to like hug him,
Mm-hmm.
that was when he realized that she desperately loved Sasuke.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's when like his simpage just stopped.
Yeah, because we're not gonna go super into Shippuden, but like later when she told him like stop chasing Sasuke and stuff like that, like he was like, I understand why you're doing this, but yeah.
Yeah, it was like throughout this entire show, his whole thing was like to get with Sakura, and he tried at every turn, but it was like around this point that all those just like went nosedive to the ground.
Yes,
So
focus on yourself, Kings.
focus on yourself, Kings, and recognize a real one who's who a real baddie around the corner. Talk about you, Hinata. And of course, like Sasuke leaves the village, Naruto's in distraught, and he's like, no, help us, because he then is like, know what, I'm gonna go retrieve him.
Makes the promise to Sakura.
Yep, makes the promise to Sakura to go save him, and then we get the squad.
Oh my gosh, I love this arc.
Iba, Choji, Naruto, they leave to go retrieve them, and each of them face off against a Sound Ninja 4 while Naruto has to like leave each member behind
Yes.
to go ahead before he then gets stopped by Kimimaro.
Mm.
And you see, like, because of the emotions, like you start to notice more and more that like Naruto's eyes start becoming more and more like Nine Tails. He's tapping into the Nine Tails like instinctually, because the last time you see him with the red eyes was against Haku.
Right.
No. It was against Orochimaru, and that was the last time you saw those red eyes. And then they come back in this arc, and you're just like,
because his emotions are so out of control. So then with that, Lee and then Gaara both hop in to kind of like be like, hey, go ahead, Naruto. So with that, we get into the final fight. Oh my gosh. The fight that you saw in the manga.
Bruh. I can't describe just the emotions in this fight, and us seeing like flashbacks of just how lonely each of them are and how they kind of saw each other as like their like confidant. And it's like, hey, we protect each other, and then you see them grow apart. But then also at the same time, Naruto just getting his behind handed to him on a silver platter. It's just like, this is demoralizing, bro.
And then also at this point, Sasuke with his curse mark, he remembers that in order to upgrade his Sharingan to Mangekyo, you have to kill your best friend. So like in this arc, it confirms that Naruto is his best friend, which is crazy.
Yep. And of course, like as I said, Naruto's getting behind whooped. And then you see the moment where like Sasuke Chidori's Naruto through the chest. And he's like,
first Naruto dies. Because he got hit with the pile driver from heaven.
No. That was after.
Okay.
So like he gets it through the chest, and you're just like, he's like, oh, you really trying to kill me? All right. Nine Tails mode.
Yes. Boom. Fade.
Yep. And then the fades given was having, and then Naruto just completely demolishes Sasuke, which forces him to put on the headband.
Yes.
It's like, all right, I acknowledge you now, boy. Let's get it.
His
The power
Sharingan upgrades. His Sharingan upgrades first, right?
yeah, his Sharingan then upgrades from two Tomoe to three, which allows him to see the future.
Mm-hmm.
And then Naruto gets pieced up in the pile driver. And
God.
and then Naito's like, listen,
Scrub.
you trash. Even when I gave you a little bit of power, I gave you enough to break this man's bones, and you still ain't do it. Okay, I'm gonna give you more, but you owe me one, kid. Because if you fold this fight again, I'm taking your whole body next time you use me. So he ends up releasing more chakra to him,
Was
and we
this
get one tail.
okay? Okay, yes. The first time he did one tail, yes.
Yep, we get the one tail mode. We had no idea what this was at the time, and Naruto go crazy, bro.
So that was crazy. Like obviously that fight went insane, just like the combos, the back and forths, and then also the fact that they fought. Man, what is it called? It's the Valley of what?
The Valley of the End.
Yes, where it shows like Madara and then the first Hokage just kind of facing off against each other. So like even that symbolism. But then I believe now that we talk about it, it's kind of a teaser because I believe his Rasengan that he did at the end was kind of purple.
Yeah.
So it looks a lot like later in Shippuden the Biju bomb that they do, if you think about it. So
yeah, it does.
So with that, they go at it. They do the one final because like Sasuke releases like his initial curse mark with the wings, which is one of the creepiest designs in all of anime.
Yeah, yeah.
And at the last moment, Naruto he folds and he hits Sasuke in the forehead, so like scratching the headband, which is so symbolic. And then Sasuke just like hits him essentially in the chest or shoulder, knocking him out. Yeah, so knocking him out, but he did not. He was not strong enough to donut squat him.
Yeah, and then so Naruto's basically knocked out. Sasuke realizes, nah, I ain't gonna be like my brother. I ain't gonna upgrade to the Mangekyo yet. So I'm a dip and get to Orochimaru, and then Naruto wakes up in the hospital bed where he's basically like distraught over the fact like his friends are barely alive, even though a few of them should have died that arc. I'm not even gonna hold you.
Yeah.
Choji, you definitely look like you should have died. Neji, you look like you should have died, but I'm not gonna talk about it. I'm not gonna talk about it. But and Sakura's like basically like she in tears, and I know it makes you seem like she's in tears because of the fact Naruto's injured, but I think it's like nah, it's because Sasuke gone. And Naruto I think realizes that he's like, hey, listen, I'm still gonna keep my promise to you to get Sasuke back no matter what. All right. So stop all your crying.
It's like I gotta get stronger. So just kind of with that, I believe from there, almost literally everything else is filler.
Yeah, it's literally nothing but filler. But at the end, but in the manga, Jiraiya comes to Naruto like directly after and says like, "Hey, let's leave this village. I'm gonna train you for 3 years, and you get to get your get back."
That makes sense. Yeah, because it's straight filler.
It
All right, so with that, that wraps up. So we can kind of get into a lot of just like nature versus nurture, relatability, wherever you want to take it from there with Naruto.
Whew. All right. So I think like the first idea I actually do want to touch upon is kind of the nature versus nurture slash idea of, the genius versus the hard worker. So in the course of this series, right, you see like how Naruto's basically at the bottom. He got nothing. And of course his rival is Sasuke, who, even though they share similar origins, kinda, but well, they share the trauma of loss, kinda. Well, more like the trauma of loneliness. That's better. Yeah, the trauma of loneliness. And Sasuke's a genius at everything.
He's an Uchiha.
Exactly. He's an Uchiha. So he's a genius and genius born fighter. You see like how Naruto's basically like he is slowly inching his way closing the gap between him and Sasuke and like him and other geniuses to where like he out here brawling with folks that are supposedly out of his league. Neji out of his league. he managed to square up against Orochimaru when Sasuke couldn't for a little bit. Of course, Kabuto and Gaara,
who has bodies at this point.
Yeah, Gaara, who actually has names. He got people's names on a T-shirt, like whole cemeteries field, and like even like some of the Sound Ninja 4. So essentially, like you see Naruto's progression and growth, and all of it stems from like him never wanting to give up, him always wanting to get stronger, so that way he can be the very best.
Mm-hmm.
And he ain't letting nobody convince him otherwise.
Right. I think that's incredible. That was a great point because again, that Neji fight was so much more than just like a battle. Like with Kiba, it was just like, okay, proving myself. With Neji, it was like my way of life. I have to like justify. And that's kind of what the battle was. And like everyone's like, yo, Neji for sure has to be a Chunin at this point and stuff like that. I think what's crazy, usually we talk about nature versus nurture. I think his nature itself was good. Obviously, like Gaara growing up, because we compared that episode, well, Gaara was like constantly being like hunted, whereas Naruto was just hated. And he decided to like take that hatred and stuff and just like turn it somewhere else to ownership, but he was still lonely, like you mentioned. So I think just like in terms of relatability, it's hard to like kind of with Naruto, but it's like the inspiration that he was at that age was like so wild because like he's literally just like, yo, you can change your fate. You can like, again, with Zabuza, it's like this person loves you, Haku. And it's like you just treat him like he's nothing. Like, does his death mean nothing to you? And things like that. Like he really cut to the core of people. And that's what I love in like in this ninja world, which is what I really loved about Naruto above everything else.
Yeah, definitely. Which is why like I love how there are many different other like parallels to Naruto's character in other characters within the show.
Yes.
Like it becomes wildly like apparent in Shippuden, but Rock Lee being a guy who can't use any ninjutsu or genjutsu, like so essentially he's talentless like Naruto.
Yes.
But still works so hard in order to get himself to be at the very top to where he can humble Sasuke in about 30 seconds.
Yes.
And almost fully square up against Gaara before he got robbed.
Yes.
And then you have yourselves, again, Gaara also being a tailed beast, also facing persecution and discrimination, sure to the full extreme, but still it's the same thing nonetheless. And then, of course, Sasuke being not only his polar opposite, but also still carrying that weight of loneliness and that weight of drive to get to where he needs to be. And you just seeing like all those characters like just slowly but surely start like changing a bit because of Naruto's interactions with them.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's a lot more to get into, obviously, just with the series and then going. But next week, we're going to get into part 2 of our Naruto character study. So that's going to be Shippuden. We're going to cover the last because I want to talk about Hinata and Sim for her. Then also a little bit of Boruto where he becomes Daddy Naruto. So with that, we're going to go into our next segment, which is the Come Get Your Rose. All right, so for my rose that I'm going to hand out, I am giving it to Aruka Sensei because he is the sole reason that Naruto did not destroy the village. Just like the tolerance that he had to put up with him. And then, one of the sole reasons that he didn't destroy the village, but putting up with Naruto's nonsense, but like actually caring for him. And then if you've seen the series, understanding that like when Naruto does marry Hinata, he was standing by his side, which was like very impactful. And then being so prominent in that first episode where it's like, hey, even though Naruto is a knucklehead, I stand beside him. So,
yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah, that definitely just makes a bunch of sense. And that is definitely like a like true indication of that. But for me, I'm gonna have to give my rose to Teuchi. And if you don't know who that is, that's the guy who owns Ichiraku Ramen, baby.
Yes. Yes.
Because it is from that man. You say it like it was because of Ruka. I say it was because of Teuchi and his daughter that like kept Naruto from going out of pocket. Because he out here giving food to Naruto when nobody else would, or when he ran out of money. He out here serving up the delicious eats with ramen.
Yeah, he didn't cheat him.
He ain't cheated him. He gave him a platter, and he always maintained himself the same. He always like supported him. He's like, hey, like there's actually this one point like before the tuning exams where he gave Naruto like a free bowl of ramen, and not just a free bowl. It was probably the most expensive bowl on their menu, just for him to say good luck. He was the only person who supported Naruto apart from Aruka, because Aruka had to supported him later on, like when he's in the Ninja Academy. This man supported Naruto from day one.
That's fair. That's fair.
So I had to give it to my mans.
That definitely, yeah, those two definitely saved the village.
Yeah.
All right. So with that, we can get into our recommendations and plugs.
All right. So my recommendation, Naruto. You can find it on Hulu. You can find it on Crunchyroll, wherever it is you watch anime on. Yes, you can find it on Netflix. So you have plenty of avenues to go watch this show. You know what I'm saying? If you want, in terms of video games, the first Ultimate Ninja Storm game is actually like a great avenue to like experience the Naruto story through, and you can see all the large bombastic battles that happens. Yes, it's on PS3, which means it's two genres, two generations ago, but that don't matter, right? Because the fact that game is still good. And also, you can, if you don't want to do that, Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 4. Sure, it has the Shippuden arc, but it has some things from the original in there as well. So boom, you can go and explore that as well. And yeah, those are my main recommendations right now.
With that, you can also like watch. There was a game, I believe it was Road to Ninja. It was on the Xbox, and it was like the first Naruto series that kind of covered that. I believe it was a 360. So again, that's like a few generations back. And then also with that, for movies, we have The Last, which is an absolutely incredible movie, which will kind of help prep for next week. We have the actual Boruto movie is actually really good. The manga, I mean, the anime is like filler central, but then also you can catch up in Shippuden with that. So with that, we can get into our plugs and get up out of here.
Yep. So of course we got ourselves our Instagram and our Twitter, Blurred City 22. Oh wait, I'm sorry, not Twitter, X. My bad. Under Blurred City 22 and Threads as well. So go ahead, give us a like, follow, subscribe, and make sure you're up to date on all our future uploads and episodes. We also have ourselves our YouTube and our Patreon, Blurred City Pod. Donate a little bit of a cheddar, and you get to access exclusive episodes. Like you may have been able to experience the first, like our first review of Gara. You can experience that truly early before we dropped it, and you could like had clout for your friends. Be like, hey, I listened to this before everybody else. And we also have other different episodes of the life. We also have ourselves our Discord page, which is linked in our Instagram page. It's a great fine community, and we're slowly growing. And then we have ourselves our email at blurredcity22.com. It's where you can submit random fan theories, geek out freakouts, and you can get yourselves you can ask us questions for our mailbag, such as this one submitted by our dear boy Miran Jojo, which is, do we prefer Yu-Gi-Oh! In the sub or dub?
I'm gonna be very honest with you. I've never heard of Yu-Gi-Oh! In the sub, so I got to go with dub.
So for me, for the original series, dub. Everything after, sub.
Okay.
Here's my reasons why. Because what I remember is that GX, like, they only dubbed the first 3 seasons and they didn't dub the last one. So I just stuck with the sub for that one. And then the same thing with 5Ds. And the same thing with Zexal, if I recall correctly. And Arc V, I think, is the only one that like actually ended like full. They actually adapted everything outright.
GX was fire with the Elemental Heroes.
Oh, yes. And that's why I rocked the Elemental Heroes when I went to Nationals as a player, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, those are the type of questions like you can submit and that we can like even answer on air, as well as for a special Q&A mailbag episode. Now, as far as personal, I am the Rogue Jedi 21 on TikTok, And that's where I post pretty out of pocket content. In fact, during this break, I made a game plan for an upload schedule, if you will, for different content I'm posting. So be on the lookout for that. What you got?
All right. For my Instagram, my personal author pages, we have Metri_dash, METRI_DASH. For my X, we have the Mad Dash 16. And then if you're interested in my book, Fans of Pains and Most a Regular Tale, you can catch that on Amazon. Also, if you want to catch Meech on Facebook on his profile.
Excuse you?
Dating profile. We're gonna edit that out.
You're trying to get me caught up on this channel. Do you know how many people listen to this show? Do you know how many folks is trying to get into my DMs already? Trying to get me.
We talked about DMs on our last episode.
Don't worry about all that. Just know that some people are watching, and I need to ensure that I appear spotless. Okay, can't be out here manipulating people like that.
Ops are all around us. So with that, let's get into our words of encouragement.
My words of encouragement is that that despite your upbringing, you can achieve your dreams. Despite your upbringing does not define where you go in life. It's only just the starting point. It does not determine your end point.
Yeah, with that, I'm kind of like, find your own ninja way, whether that be just like your lifestyle, things you believe in, your own path in life, and don't let people really bump you off of that. So kind of just stay strong with your beliefs and fight tooth and nail for it. Believe it. So we will say it's not goodbye forever. It's just goodbye for now. And that's the Blurred City Podcast.
See ya later.